camp has been awesome so far. I came in and it's been a really good group. It's been a lot of new faces, and I think the integration of all those guys with guys who've been here it's been awesome. So it's been a really good flow with the new guys and being in. It's the end of the season, but everyone's pushing for this game. What was your second part?
Just the preparation for the game.
Yeah. This is the end of the year for a lot of us, but we haven't been able to be as a group for a long time, and being together is always special, and we're looking to create this cohesive group and to get everyone playing together as many times as possible, and this opportunity arose. And so we're really looking forward to the game tomorrow, and I think it'll be a good show because there's a lot of good, talented players who have been a part of this camp and who showed a lot of quality this week.
Thanks, Jackson. We're going to start with Brian Strauss from Sports Illustrated.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, Jackson. Nice to meet you. You just talked about continuity. Like, how has you've been in with this team and with Greg, and then you've been out for a long time. How has Greg managed to? So much of what he teaches and the way he wants you to play is cumulative and progressive, and learning, different patterns and different approaches. How has he managed to maintain continuity with you guys when there's been so much time in between camps? And did he take any time and sort of go through some of the stuff that the team did last month in Europe? Obviously a completely different group of guys, but maybe there were some things, did he look at you and say, look at Tyler Adams, do this is what I want from you in this situation? Did he try to bridge the gap, so to speak, between what those guys did in Europe and what you guys are doing in this camp?
Yeah, I think, the continuity part, we've been in the last January camp, and I think, there's been a core group who has been around, and, the ideas that are told are told until you, understand them, and, they allow questions to be asked, and I think a lot of the guys in it have a clear idea of what's happening, and it's credit to the coaching staff because they do a great job of, getting everyone integrated very fast. So even though our last camp was January, I think, at 1-2 days, everyone was picking it up very quickly, the ideas and kind of how we want to play as a team. And yeah, I think the personnel in Europe is very good, and, we watched the games, and, we talked about, different things that I can look at that maybe as we're moving forward we can improve on. But yeah, I think the qualities of both European and here are very high, and with all the camps coming up next year, and the gap this year was unfortunate, but I think the coaching staff does a great job of keeping everyone informed and making that group cohesive as possible as we move into next year.
Next we'll go to Brian Schroeder from American Soccer Now.
Hey, Jackson, thank you very much for doing this. You often hear a lot about next year's busy schedule involving the Olympic team, and you're obviously in that age, and you're a big part of Jason's plans. Discuss how you've seen that team grow and what your thoughts on the Olympic eligible players are in this camp and how much that's on your guys' mind. And then also, specifically, it was for Andres Perea, it was his first camp. He could be a potential partner with you on the midfield if he elects to play for the U.S. How has his first camp been?
Yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of younger guys, eligible for the Olympics, and, a lot of up-and-coming players, getting into that group. And I think what Jason has done and, the opportunity for, qualifying for the Olympics and then hopefully doing well in the Olympics, I think is a priority for U.S. soccer. And so I think, having a very good group, which I believe we have, is important. And, as next year comes, I think we'll start to see that team form a little bit more. And with Andres, I think he's a phenomenal player. He came into this camp and so calm on the ball. He's good, aggressive, defending, and I think we have very similar attributes. So I think, playing alongside him, he's got confidence, and he's someone who you can trust. And so I think with him on the field, it's a very comfortable fit, and I think he'll do really well with us.
Next will be Iva Skolarsek from SBI Soccer.
Jackson, I wanted to ask you about two questions. One was about Brendan Aronson, who you were in January camp with, and obviously he had an incredible year. What differences have you seen in him now, being in camp with him now, compared to how you remember him being in January? What's different? Do you see kind of that clear growth? And my second question is about your season. Yeah, you obviously had a very challenging season, up and down year. Earthquakes had a really rough stretch there, really rough, terrible results. But then you guys obviously turned it around and had a great run to end the year. What did that experience do for you as a player, just kind of dealing with those challenges and fighting through that adversity when the year looked lost and then you guys were able to turn it around?
Yeah, I think when Brendan first came to the league, you could obviously tell that he had a lot of great skill in tidy areas, and I think he showed that a lot in January camp. I think his decision-making wasn't as crisp as it is now, and I think you've seen that in this year. I think throughout the year I watched him a lot, and he made some unbelievable assists and some unbelievable goals where you could tell the real growth from him, and he's a phenomenal player, and he's still very young. So I think he's going to keep getting better and better, and from January camp to now, I think his improvement has been phenomenal, and I think he's going to be a very dangerous player going ahead and score and get a lot of assists. Yeah, and in San Jose, it was definitely a very, after MLS's back tournament, it was a very tough stretch. But like you said, there was a lot of adversity. I think, when I stepped in as captain, we kind of had some bad losses in a row, and, it brought our team closer together, and, it kind of made us dig deeper and, figure it out ourselves and, believe in the coach and, find a way to get ourselves out of it. And through that, we came together as a team even more. We emphasized unity and just work rate. And so I think, a mixture of those two help us gain confidence that we lacked in that month, and that's how we ended well. So hopefully we can build off that for this offseason and into next year.
We have a couple more for Jackson. First will be Carlos Eustace.
Jackson, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, Carlos from the Bay Area, Telemundo in the Bay Area. Kind of dealing with the same thing that they were talking about, the Quakes. You closed a very good year personally. How do you feel after, coming back from those bad results, making it to the playoffs, having even though it was just one game, but it was a great playoff game, and then personally winning the Young Player of the Year award, being back on the national team, kind of seems like it would be like an early Christmas present, right?
Yeah, it was. 2 years ago we ended the season 0-6, and I think this year we were one of the better teams towards the end, and so that confidence going into playoffs really helped us and helped myself. From the belief that the coach had in myself and in the team, I think it gave me room to grow. Especially this year, I think everyone's grown a little bit, and through that adversity and kind of coming into a more leadership role within the team, I think it's been a great help in my confidence, and I've tried to bring that into this camp as well, to make those next step that we can do here. So it's been a very interesting year from start to finish for sure, but I think there's a lot of positives that we're ending on, and we hope to end on another positive tomorrow.
We'll go to Elias Larati.
Hi, Jackson. You hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Hi, Elias Larati from Babel USA. I just want to get your personal thought on what's 2020 been like for you, especially during a situation you were in a pandemic, on and off for most of the year. Just your thoughts on that would be appreciated.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a very interesting year from the start. I think we came in, ready to compete in a lot of tournaments this year. And, with the pandemic happening, a lot of those were pushed back and put on hold. And, I think there was all right, what's going on here? And so that definitely had, an aspect on all the world, and especially of, how do I keep training? How do I get out and keep improving? And, being stuck at home, that's challenging. And I think, trying to cope with that and improve yourself, I think was a big growth factor for myself and a lot of the guys here. And then when we got back to MLS's back tournament, I think we had an awesome time. When we started playing again, you kind of felt a little bit more life, and you were able to, enjoy certain things and realize that, this is an awesome opportunity that we have. and you give 110% for it. And so I think 2020 has taught us a lot. It's been a challenging year, but I think we'll look back on it and saying that it was important to learn and grow from it.
And our last question will be from Emily Olson.
Hey Jackson, thanks for taking the time. On the flip side of that last question, with the way 2020 has gone, that means 2021 presents a bunch of opportunities and games for you to kind of get involved with the national team. Just curious, how do you see the opportunities that come with that amount of games for you to get more involved with this team?
Yeah, I think, with all the games and teams and camps going on, I think, with all the new players as well, there hasn't been a drop in the level. And so I think, you see new players coming in each camp, and I think the integration has been excellent. They come in and the level stays very high. And so I think for myself and a lot of guys have an opportunity to make a claim and to, win these tournaments and, prove that U.S. is going somewhere and we're moving forward in how we play. And I think that comes with next year, and I think it's an important year for us to, get everything down right, and with all the tournaments and all the games, be prepared as best as we can, because we have a really good group and we have a lot of good players who are going to be available for those.